wake up, flex, thumb down that, check, no drip this, wet. Tell 'em run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell 'em run it up.
Guys, welcome back to my channel, Dine and Taste. It's your girl, That's So Tay. Welcome back. It's good to see you. We're on our third video. Wow, time is flying. I hope you guys have been enjoying this content. I've been enjoying making it for you, and I just want to say welcome back. Thanks for watching. I do apologize if my voice sounds like it's still trying to wake up, if the lighting seems a little off. I'm recording this video very early. And I have a lot to do today, but I wanted to make sure that I got this content out for you all. So let's talk about Sugar Factory. That's the restaurant that we're going to be diving into today. It was an interesting experience. It's a little different from the reviews that I've done in the past, so I'm really excited to talk about this. So let's get into it. So typically on Dine and Taste, we start with parking, but I actually want to start this video with location because 101 North was only in Westlake Village. Eureka had it several locations throughout California and Texas and Washington, I believe, and here, you know, places there and there. This restaurant is more of a bigger chain. There are several locations throughout the United States. They also have locations internationally. So I wanted to make sure that I included that information so anyone around the world can get their hands on this type of experience. Sugar Factory has locations in, let's break it down, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Las Vegas, Georgia, California,
Minnesota,
Illinois, Connecticut, and Mississippi. Those are all the locations in the United States. And then they also have 3 locations internationally in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and the Bahamas. So if you are anywhere in those areas, you can get your hands on this experience at the Sugar Factory. Now, the location that I went to was the Century City location in Los Angeles, California. So all of my experience that I'll be breaking down today will be related to that location. I haven't been to the locations in Vegas or Georgia or anywhere else except for in Los Angeles. So I can't really say how those locations operate. I'm basing all of my review on the LA location in California. So of course, on Dine and Taste, the first thing that we always talk about is parking because it is our first impression of a restaurant experience, okay? So let's get into the parking at the Sugar Factory Century City location. Also, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, LA is very loud for no reason. It's so loud this morning and it's early. It's like, why are you up? Why are you up? But I guess they could be thinking like, why are you up recording a video? The Sugar Factory, located in Century City, is actually in the mall. It's in the Westfield Century City Mall. So your parking is mall parking, which isn't fun. Obviously, what I love about it is that it is self-parking, but let me tell you, it was stressful. Parking is so insane. It's almost like a Hunger Games type situation. There are cars coming from every single direction trying to get to a parking spot. The reservation was also at like noon, so we went when the mall had kind of just opened. Oh my goodness, it was very stressful. I highly recommend that if you do go to the Century City location of Sugar Factory, I would get there and give yourself at least 30 minutes of parking unless you have a reservation right once the mall opens, because it was stressful. It's a pretty big mall. It has very high-end retail stores, it has restaurants, it has bars, so there's a lot of people there for all different types of reasons all throughout the day. So I would definitely give myself at least 30 minutes next time to find parking. Like my restaurants that I've done videos for in the past with Eureka and with 101, everything parking wise was free, but that is not the situation with Sugar Factory at Century City location. Parking does cost. Now, if I can get this correctly, the first 2 hours are free, I believe. And then after that is when they start charging you for parking. Now, they do validate for parking in the retail stores of the mall. Sugar Factory does not validate your parking. So if I'm getting this correctly, if you go to Sugar Factory, the first 2 hours that you're there are free. Obviously, as we get more into this video, it's more of an experience. You're not gonna only be there for 2 hours. So you are gonna be charged some money for parking, unless you go to a retail store afterwards and get your ticket validated. We did not do that. We ended up paying for parking. I believe our payment came out to about $17, and we were there for about 6 hours. So not that bad, I guess, if you're thinking of like LA parking, but you are gonna have to spend some money for your parking situation. So keep that in mind. Now, as mentioned, the Sugar Factory restaurant is located within a mall. So you also have to look for this location. It's not gonna be as easy as typically a restaurant would be. You park in the parking lot and then you walk up. You actually have to go into the mall, go up 2 floors, make a left somewhere, go up more. It's literally on the edge of the mall. It's the furthest point of the mall. So it is gonna take some walking. So if you do go to this location, if you've never been before, seriously, I would give myself at least 30 to 45 minutes just to be on time for my reservation, because parking can be unpredictable. And then after that, you also have to go through the mall just to get to the location. Okay, so now that we've talked about parking and the parking situation, let's get into service. I know I usually jump into attire, but like Eureka and like 101, there was no dress code. There was no one particular vibe. Everyone was dressed in variety. And I feel like that's how most restaurants are gonna be. I've decided that I'm only gonna include dress code information if there is a dress code. So I will not be saying that information from this video on, because it's kind of not necessarily a waste of time, but if there's nothing really to like offer in that section of the video, then we're still gonna talk about the ambiance. Oh my goodness, it's early, y'all. And we're still gonna talk about the ambiance and the vibe of the restaurant. But first, I want to get into the service of the restaurant, which I'm actually extremely excited to talk about, because the service was, and let me just give a disclaimer. I might be new to YouTube, but I am not new to customer service. I have been a hostess. I have been a call center person. I have been a receptionist. I have done all things first impression, face of company type representation. I'm an expertise in customer service, and the service, at least at the Sugar Factory Century City location, I don't know if they were just having a bad day, but they didn't know that Dine and Taste was coming in there and like the day of our reservation, we're running late, and we're trying to get in contact with the restaurant. We weren't running late, we were running like 10-15 minutes late. We were like, we don't want to get bumped. Like, we got dressed, we're already driving here, it's just a little bit of traffic. As we've discussed before, LA traffic is no joke and you're gonna bump into it. We didn't plan that well, so we ended up leaving a little late, but we were 10-15 minutes away and we did not want to get bumped when we were so close to making our reservation. So we're calling and we're calling and we're calling, like literally my sister is calling this restaurant, I want to say maybe like 8 or 9 times. No answer. No one's answering the phone. And personally, to me, that is terrible customer service. You're in a popular restaurant, in a popular mall where there's a lot of activity, a lot of parking issues. Like, if you've never been there before, it's gonna take you a minute to find this restaurant. And yes, we should plan better so that we can leave, but why are you not answering your phone? You're an establishment. If people have questions, if people don't know where you're located, my sister and I had to walk into like a Free People and ask them like, where is this location? Because they weren't answering their phone. Even had we been on time, if we need direction, no one was answering. I'm just like, my mind is blown. And mind you, I've worked in very busy restaurants before. I understand as a hostess, you can't stand by your hosting post all the time. Sometimes you have to step away. Sometimes you're seating another table and you miss a call or two. I totally understand that. But at the end of the day, we called 9 to 10 times. How did no one answer a phone 9 to 10 times? Like, that already was like, this ain't looking hot. But I was like, you know what? We were the late ones. We're the ones who didn't plan. It happens, okay? It happens, whatever. We find a Free People. We ask them where the we make it. We finally finish up our parking situation. We finally find a parking spot. We go to a Free People. We ask them where they are. Of course, this restaurant is on the other side of the freaking mall compared to the entrance. We walk all the way down And when we arrive, more terrible customer service. I don't know what was going on today. So we arrive at the location, and when we walk into the restaurant, there are two hostess. No one greets us. Second thing that I see as terrible customer service: if someone walks into your establishment, you greet them. You say hello, you ask them how they're doing, you ask them what's their party. There was no greeting, there was no eye contact, there was no friendliness. Do not get me wrong, I'm not a snob when it comes to customer service. I'm just aware of the expectation that a guest wants. At the end of the day, I am expecting good service, and as a paying customer, I'm expecting good service. And this isn't to sound snobby, and I totally understand having a bad day and still having to clock in and go through the emotional labor of acting like you're the happiest person in the world when you really don't want to be there. I sympathize. I have been there and I have done it for years. But you can't let your clientele know that. And you're not greeting them. You're not giving them eye contact when you're asking them questions. You're not being friendly. And we're all wearing masks. We're still living in the time of COVID, but there was no friendliness from either of the hostess. It was very, very weird. There was definitely an attitude. I don't think they necessarily had an attitude with my sister and I, but there was definitely an attitude, definitely a feeling of they don't want to be there. And like I said, I sympathize with that. I totally sympathize with not wanting to be at work. But I didn't tell you to apply to this job, nor did I tell you to come to your shift. You decided to do that. Both of the hostess on that Saturday at that Sugar Factory Century City location had terrible customer service. So, like I said, I'm not saying that I am a snob about it or saying that you can't have a bad day. Of course you can. And you may not be on your ones and twos all of the time. But my sister and I, yes, we showed up late, but we showed up friendly. We showed up excited. That killed our buzz. Let's move on to the vibe and ambiance. And honestly, my sister and I were not feeling it. We were like, oh, this is what they've been talking about? But there's something that happens at this restaurant that actually turned this around for us. So let's get into the vibe and the ambiance of Sugar Factory. So the vibe of this restaurant is fun. It is so much fun. Now we, of course, will get into the menu, but if you couldn't tell, the Sugar Factory is legit Sugar Factory, what you would imagine it to be. Candy, milkshakes, chocolate, just everything sweet. And I am not a sweet person. I'm definitely more of a savory, salty foods type girl, but I was like, you know what, let's venture out, let's try something different. And it's a fun experience. Now I was very surprised. My sister and I my sister and I decided to sit outside. We will go a little bit into COVID. Well, actually, we don't need to go into a COVID measurement because there isn't really any in place. The mask mandate in California has been reinstated as of July 16th. So servers, hostess, all the staff were wearing masks. All the tables were spaced out spaciously. And the only thing that they really added extra was if you sat in a booth outside, there was a plexiglass between you and the other booth. But aside from that, people were still sitting inside, servers had on masks, and that was pretty much the gist of everything. My sister and I sat outside. The outside is gorgeous. It's very pretty, has a lot of greenery that would, it's like the booths and then a lot of greenery behind that. Floors were white. They had umbrellas to cover you from the sun. Very pretty, beautiful patio to sit in. The bar also looked as if it was partially outdoors. I saw people sitting along the bar and their seats were also considered outside. So that was really cool too. It's kind of like an open air bar, half open air bar, half inside a restaurant bar. So it was really, but it was all one bar. So that was really cool too. It was a very pretty patio. I was surprised, not to be so nitpicky, but I'm just giving you all the experience. I was very surprised when we sat in the booth. Our booth was very ripped up. It was very worn out, as if they needed to replace kind of the coverings of the booth. I don't know if it's because I've heard about the Sugar Factory so many times, and it's definitely a place where a lot of celebrity sightings are happening, that I just thought that it would be a little more like nitpicky as well. Like I thought, you know how like you go to Chick-fil-A and they always say like, my pleasure. Like I thought it would be kind of something like that. Like everyone has this scripted way of like showing customer service and being polite, and everything is tip top and super clean and super like, and it was clean, but it, you know, the seating did have rips in it and things like that. So obviously not perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I did have an expectation of like just everything being very, very A1 and on top of it. But nonetheless, still a beautiful patio to be sitting at. Another thing that I loved about this restaurant is that they play top 40 pop and hip hop music. So that was really cool, kind of like your TikTok music. That was kind of cool because typically when you go to restaurants, they're playing kind of like elevator music. It creates a vibe for the ambiance, but you can't really party along with it. We're sitting there, we're drinking our drinks and we're eating our food and we're singing along to the songs in the restaurants. And I love stuff like that. I love places. It had a DJ. They had a DJ at this location. And I love stuff like that because it kind of gives you like a club feeling, even though it was not a club vibe whatsoever, but it gave you kind of like a club feeling. You're like sitting there enjoying your food, you're with your good company, and then you're like dancing a Drake, you're like you're dancing a Cardi B. Like it adds, especially for like a younger customer, it adds a little more fun to your experience. And like I said, this restaurant is known for having celebrity sightings. We didn't see any celebrities that day, but they do have a poster when you walk into the restaurant of all the celebrities that have been in there at their location. So that was really cool. All the Kardashians have been there. It was really, really cool to see like who else had sat in potentially the same seat, table, or booth that you were sitting in. I have to talk about the thing that absolutely turned this entire experience around for myself, and I think for my sister. Our server was very sweet. His performance and his attention to us, you know, him getting our order correct, was very much on point. He was very sweet. His service definitely helped turn the experience around. But the main thing that really made this restaurant somewhere where I was like, you know what? I might give it a second try, was their birthday dance. If you've ever been to Sugar Factory, you have seen this dance before. I don't know if people were lying or what, but the day that we went, there were literally like 8 birthdays. Their birthday dance, it's part of the clip what you saw in the beginning of the video. They have these the staff has the choreographed dance that goes with the top 40 song that they do when someone orders, I believe it's called the King Kong Sundae or something like that. And there are 3 different types of sundaes. And when you order one, they do a specific dance with that sundae presentation. And they have like the clappers, they have fireworks. Like it honestly was my favorite part of the whole day. It was so much fun. Like I literally could watch them do this all the time. And our server, when they first did it, we didn't know what was going on. Like we were like, what's happening? And then once we saw what was happening, we were like, oh my gosh, we love that. So then when he came back to our table, we were like, what is that? And he told us about how like if someone orders the King Kong sundae, then they get this dance. And it's typically for birthdays. This sundae, by the way, costs $99. So it's not a cheap sundae. And like, I don't care how much you like sweet stuff. Can you really eat like a size this big sundae? Like, you're gonna not eat all of it, but like you're really paying for like the dance and like the entertainment that comes with the sundae. It was so cute. Honestly, my favorite part of the restaurant. It's what turned my experience around because I originally wasn't feeling it. But when they started doing that dance,
hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up.
Very, very fun. Very, very fun part of the day. I'm so happy that we got to see it so many times because it was definitely making us very excited. It was very enjoyable to watch, and it added more to this restaurant than I was expecting. Had the restaurant just been like a place where you sat and eat, it'd probably just be like whatever. But the celebratory vibes and the colors was very colorful. Think candy, think sugar. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that part. So of course we could never close out a dine and taste without talking about the taste part. Obviously, let's get into the menu of Sugar Factory. Okay, so now that we've talked all the other good stuff or bad stuff that has come with this restaurant experience, let's get into the food. My sister and I tried very basic dishes for somewhere that's so theatrical. Let me get my handy dandy notebook, as y'all know, so I can get this right for you. My sister got the crispy chicken and waffle plate, and I got the waffle breakfast burger. Are we surprised? A burger? That's okay. I'm not surprised. So my burger came out to about $19, and my sister's breakfast or brunch came out to $28. Mine was just kind of like a built-up burger. It had 2 waffles as its buns, and then it had a beef patty, and on top of that a fried egg, sausage, and bacon, all put together. I got french fries that also were a part of my meal, so it was kind of just like a upgraded, literally a breakfast burger, like a burger with breakfast stuff added to it, side of french fries. I did get ketchup and syrup to go as like my condiments for my meal. My sister and her chicken and her crispy chicken and waffle plate, these chickens were massive. They gave about 4 pieces, and they're huge. Like, they're huge. My sister loves chicken, and she literally ate one and was full. Huge. They give you a lot of food for that one. She did have her side of butter and syrup, but yeah, pretty basic plates. Her plate was just 1 waffle with about 4 pieces of chicken. We didn't do anything very colorful, but they do have colorful options on the menu. They are known for their, let me just make sure I get this right, they are known for their insane double stacked rainbow pancakes, literally about 5 or 6 pancakes that are all colorful. There's like a purple pancake, a blue pancake, orange pancake, very cute, very fun for like kids. They also had like colorful sliders where it's like a slider platter, and there's several different burgers of like different colors. So very fun place. We went very basic, a lot of very colorful things that we could have chose that we didn't have. We were obviously going more for taste than presentation, but you definitely can get something like that at this restaurant. That is what they are known for. They're also known for their goblet drinks. We did not get a goblet drink. We got one of their smaller drinks. It's in a martini glass. I don't know if they're necessarily considered martinis or just regular cocktails, but so much fun. Mint chocolate. Like, the presentation of these drinks is what you go there for. Like, it's just the bigger goblets. They are about $40 a drink, but they're huge. They're massive. They have smoke that comes out of it. I don't know how they have the smoke come out of it, but they have the smoke coming out of it, so very theatrical. You and your party get those drinks, your whole table is just in smoke. Like, it's so much fun. It's such a presentation, and like aesthetically to the eye, you're just like, this is so much fun. I want to try it all the time. We did not get anything fun with the exception of like our little martinis. We did get colorful martinis. I believe my sister got the watermelon. I tried to look up what the drinks names were, but I could not find them online. It was a little harder to find than I thought. They do have pictures online of like their drink menu, but the writing is so small. I was like, I can't see this. So, but from what I can remember, hers was like a watermelon drop, and then mine was like a candy apple. She really enjoyed hers. I didn't get a taste of hers, but she really liked it. Mine was very good. It tastes exactly like a blow pop, like a candy apple blow pop. It's exactly what it tastes like. They actually had a blow pop lollipop in my drink, and instead of salt around my martini glass, it was the Pop Rock candy that was around my martini glass. So very, very yummy. I wouldn't necessarily say that they were refreshing drinks. They weren't refreshing. They're just very sweet, but that's expected. Sugar is kind of more of like a heavier component. Still very delicious. We really enjoyed our food, even though we went very basic, but still very good. And we also tried milkshakes. My sister got the Butterfinger milkshake, and I got the cookie jar milkshake. It's pretty much, it was like a basic milkshake, but it had like Oreo cookie crumbles on the top, and hers was like a basic milkshake. It had Butterfingers on the top, and my drink tastes like an Oreo. Her drink tastes like a Butterfinger. So very on point when it came to matching the title of the drink to how the drink would taste, because obviously if you're ordering a Butterfinger milkshake, you want it to taste like Butterfinger, but sometimes that isn't necessarily the case. You can still kind of taste a little more vanilla or whatever. It was very much on point. It tastes like the candy in a milkshake form. So we were very impressed by that. And this restaurant not only has milkshakes and their goblet drinks and their like martini-like drinks, they also have coffee, teas, and fraps for anyone who isn't into the alcoholic beverages. Obviously, they have your waters and your juices, things of that nature, sodas, a little more kid-friendly type beverages. They also allow you to build your own Bloody Mary. They have mimosas. They have a mimosa goblet. Yeah, they got a lot of good drinks for you to try out at this restaurant. So I would definitely say give it a try. Try something not so basic. You can get a mimosa anywhere. Even if you don't get a goblet, they still give you the option of trying the martini glass drinks. I would definitely say try one of those cocktails because you can't really find those anywhere. So I would definitely say give it a try, and I would give the menu a thumbs up. We tried something basic, but our food was very good. Our plates got to us very warm. Plates were clean, silverware was clean, napkins were clean. The presentation of our food portion in the experience at Sugar Factory was on point. So definitely would give that part 5 stars. All right, guys, so we are wrapping up the video for Sugar Factory in Century City. I was looking forward to this video. I cannot lie, it was different from Eureka and 101 because I had a little more critique than I did for the other restaurants, and there was a little more to the ambiance and vibe of the restaurant than the other places in the past. So I was really excited to do this video, and I really hope that I did it well and that I explained everything properly. A lot of times when I'm recording these videos, I'm just talk. So I'm hoping that I'm getting out what I'm trying to say in the most informative, accurate, and detailed way possible. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you're enjoying my channel. I thank all of you and appreciate those who are watching my videos. I really, really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next time.